Hello, I'm Soju, and welcome to me trying the newest 1.21.5 things in Minecraft. So I know it seems like they didn't really add anything, but for builders, oh my god, they added some of the best blocks they could ever add. So I'm just gonna be testing them out here in my creative world. So just to take a second, here is the changelog for this update. I'm really interested in like a couple things. So I know they added the new mob variants, which is fine. I'm really interested this one, the fallen trees. Oh my god, this is something like Bedrock had for a while, and I was always jealous that they had it. Now here, back to the game. I'm really excited for that because I get to finally, I think I finally can place mushrooms on top of logs. Am I wrong? I am. I'm guessing it's just going to be like a newly generated thing. Since I created this world in 1.20 point something, let me just make a new one. It doesn't really matter. So I'm guessing it's just going to be one of those like things that oh my god. These are the best fucking chickens. They look so funny. Oh my god. But I think the falling tree thing, like with the mushroom. Oh, did I see one? No, it's just a stump. Oh, so I'm guessing this only is going to be like a generated thing, because like of course this is something that happens IRL, but I would actually love to place mushrooms on top of blogs. I just please. Going back to my world that I usually build in, let me show you what I mean by that. So over here I did like a little river revamp, and what I always like to do in like natural areas, I like to place logs with some campfires and trapdoors just to make it look like it's just a pile of wood that has been sitting there for like a while. And I would love if we could actually place it here. Right now the only way that I can do this in like daytime is to grab some puzzle and like place it sneakily like around. I think I had that there, and then place my mushrooms like this, which is, I mean, it's fine in this sense. It's like fine, but I don't want to have to do that every single time. I kind of just want like the mushroom on top, you know what I mean? And I do this thing like a lot for like decoration. I think I have it over here as well. So over here, this is a pond that I made a while ago. I think I placed some logs over here, like the same thing, exact same thing. But as you can see, I only placed puzzle around the edges of the pond, and I didn't place it over here. But yeah, oh my god, this is such a missed opportunity. I wish I could. Oh my god. I think this one, leaf litter, ooh, I would place it everywhere. I'm gonna place it everywhere, basically, just in like little amounts. I don't like doing it fully like this. I don't like how it looks all full. I don't know why. I feel like it looks weird, but maybe just like in little tiny amounts like this, maybe a little bit more randomized. Actually, it adds such a little tiny amount of detail. I love it. I'm gonna end up placing these like everywhere. Did that block the vine from growing? So if I break these, I'm guessing these are just gonna grow, but that one isn't. Test. So apparently the leaves block vines from growing. That's great. I mean, I usually use string just because I can place it like anywhere. These are kind of tight to just placing them like on the floor. Honestly, if you want your vines to be like a little bit longer and not touch the floor like this is actually a pretty good thing. I didn't think that. Ooh, see? Oh my god, this is good. And I don't have to have annoying string because I can tell. You can see the little hitbox right there. I hate it. Let me see where I can place the leaf litter. I think I can only place it on like different types of dirt. So of course we're gonna place it over here. Yes. Okay, can I place it on any block? I can place it on any block. Can I place it on trapdoors as well? Oh my god, I can place it on any block. It's not letting me place it like fully. It's just like that one corner. Let me use another type of trapdoor just so you can see what I mean. Like I'm crouching and then clicking the trapdoor and it's still not letting me place it. That's really weird. Can I place it within item frames? I can. Ooh. So since this one I have to crouch and then right click it and it won't let me fill it in. Let me see if like another block that you can open. So crouching. Oops, that's an item frame. So okay, crouching. It doesn't work with any block that you can open. That's really weird. What about a jukebox? Because you can't open it, but you can like right click it. That's really weird. Okay. Oh wait. Oh, okay. You have to right click. Okay, so you have to right click the leaf litter itself. So I was right clicking the trapdoor because that's how I placed the first one. And then trying to keep right clicking the trapdoor doesn't work. I have to right click. Oh, I have to uncrouch and right click. Okay. never mind. That's really interesting. Okay. I also wanted to test out these things. My first thought is that I can only place it on top of cactus, but I don't know. I might be wrong. So yeah. And then can I place it on any other block? And see the dirt blocks. Okay. Whoa. Oh, I can place it on any block. That's insane. But this is like a really good alternative to coral, because with coral you have to waterlog them, of course, otherwise they just die like these ones. These mangrove roots, you can place them, waterlog them like this, and then you can place any type of coral fan like on top, and it just stays like that. But this block makes it so much easier to just add a little bit more color. The sound is really weird. So what I usually did to replicate like this cactus, I would grab a candle and just place it on top of here. You can't actually place it like on top of the cactus like this. You kind of have to place like another block, place a candle, and then get rid of it. And then the cactus. It is really weird. I mean, this technique still kind of stands in case you don't want a flower that is this big. A build in combination with these, I think that would be great. So this is a desert house that I made quite a while ago. Wind sounds, sandy sounds. Oh, you can see here in the subtitles. Those are new. If you place sand in any other like build, you'll get a little bit of the sandy sounds. Anyways, but I was gonna talk about, like I said, I placed some candles to replace these, but now you can actually place a flower, and then having both of them feels really good. Maybe we can place some over here like this. I'm guessing that's going to stop it from growing because a candle actually does. I mean, it hasn't grown, so I'm gonna guess that it does stop the growth. That's really cool. So these next ones are pretty normal, I think. These are just like bushes and dry bushes. These are definitely made for like a desert biome. For these, I had a really specific idea. Let me go to that build really quick. So a little while ago, I made this like overgrown mine entrance. The goal was basically to saturate this area with every single type of plant that I could come up with. Like we have sugarcane, we have the drip leaves, we have glowberries growing, we have some bamboo as well. It's like in this context, I think it will look so good. I don't like overdoing it, so maybe just like that, and it works really well. I think you can even place, yeah, like a couple of the dry ones as well. It kind of matches these. Ooh, okay. I'm so happy with these. This is why it's like a builder's dream. You just have more and more detail, and then you can also just place some of the leaf litter and just place it basically everywhere, because this is supposed to be like an overgrown area. It's supposed to be like abandoned, so it makes sense that there's a bunch of leaves on the floor that nobody has taken care of. So I just finished placing them like everywhere. You can see it adds so much color. Oh my god, that's really good. And what I also like to do with both of these now, I used to do it only with the pink petals, but now I can actually just place a couple of wildflowers just dotted everywhere, and also the pink petals, because it's basically almost like the same texture. As you can see, they only tweaked it like a little tiny bit, and because I can choose to only have those little tiny ones, I can just place these wherever I like, and it's not like going to saturate too much. I think since this build specifically is like an overgrown, untaken care of build, obviously I'm going overboard a little bit. It does add like that little pop of color that I really needed, because I had like basically just browns and greens, but adding that little bit of pink and yellow, that's so nice. If you're like detail oriented, oh my god, these are great. And I'm gonna talk about this block. Oh my god, I think I can speak for a lot of people like who like to build. At least this is like the best block they added, the fireflies. So right now it's daytime, so you won't be able to see it, but let me set it to night, and they're gonna slowly appear. You can kind of see them just pop out. Do you hear that? Oh my god, I didn't know that was a thing. I'm guessing that during daytime they just like shut up. They do. Ooh, you can kind of tell. Let me go here where it's dark. So these do let out, you can barely tell, but they do let out like the tiniest little bit of lighting. I think it's light level 2, so it doesn't add a lot. One thing that I really like though, since the bush is kind of like desaturated, especially here in the jungle, everything's bright green, but I think you can place it underneath a block, maybe underneath. Ooh, okay. And does it still let out? Ooh, it does. You can kind of see it does let out like the little tiniest bit of particles. So you can place it underneath moss carpet like I did, but I think you can also place it like underneath full blocks. Let me just see. So if you place it underneath a block, you can tell a little bit. It does let out the particles, but I'm not hearing the buzz anymore. So if I place it right here with the moss carpet on top, I think we're gonna hear it again. There we go. Okay, that's really interesting. So we can have it around just like fully out in the open. I'm probably gonna do this a lot with the moss carpet on top because we still have the sound and the particles. You can also just completely hide it like this and you'll still get the particles but not the sound. So then really quick, let me turn off my shaders just because a lot of people wonder how it looks like, and this is how it looks like. Obviously it's not as magical with shaders. You can see it does add a lot to the ambience, especially the sounds. Oh my god, they did a really good job with that. I'm really happy. And then let me check real quick. I think the fireflies kind of work like moss does. It kind of like spreads in any available block that it has, I think. Yeah, so, ooh, it's kind of, never mind, it's kind of like pickles instead. Huh, okay. So you can easily just get a bunch of them if you like. Okay, let me just go into survival real quick. So I'm guessing you can grab these with shears. Okay, can we grab it? Oh, we can grab it just like punching it. I'm guessing hose work as well in Silk Touch. Okay, so it doesn't really matter. So I think with that, I just tested out everything that I care about. I'm just gonna show you some ideas I had to like implement like these new ambient blocks in your builds. Of course, you can kind of tell I'm gonna use it a lot for like decorating this type of overgrown or just like natural spaces, especially back here in my pond. I'm gonna enjoy so much placing these wild, I mean fireflies, I keep calling them wildflowers, but these firefly bushes just around water, because like IRL you can find fireflies in like temperate slash like tropical areas, so I think these are gonna be great for placing them near water. Look, oh my god, that's so pretty. Honestly, if you weren't paying attention, they kind of just look like stars. This is so pretty. This that's the best, like that. That's the highlight of this update for me. Oh my god. I'm also gonna show you one thing that I had in mind. This is my super flat world for like mini builds ideas. So over on this section, you can see I have a bunch of paths that I made a while ago. This one specifically is like my go-to path idea, where I don't want to do like something really in detail for a path. I just do this one. It's so easy. It's mainly path blocks like in the middle, and then on the edges I added some coarse dirt and some moss as well. I also placed some azalea leaves, and to match that I like to place the little pink petals, just like a couple of them like dotted around. I think I'm also gonna start including just some like random leaf litter, and then just literally placing these two just adds so much more. It kind of feels like it's so much more lived in. I'm definitely gonna be using these a lot when it comes to pathways. I was also thinking about the cactus flower. So over here I have a path. This one's like a Japanese style one, that's why I have like the cherry blossoms, but I think we can add the cactus flower. So I know it's not really like cherry blossom, but since it's still pink, it does break up like the blockiness of the leaves themselves, so I think that's really nice. Then I also have a desert one over here. You can see I already placed the candles as cactus flowers, but we can actually place the cactus flowers now. I would leave it like this ideally, just to add like a little bit more variation, but I'm thinking you can also place it like with a flower pot, so like this. Ah, that's adorable. So with this one too, so get rid of it, candle, get rid of the moss, then please, oh my god, that's so adorable. I'm definitely gonna be doing that a lot. Then you can tell, because it's a desert, I placed a bunch of dead bushes around, but we have dried bushes now, so just placing a bunch of these randomly, oh, that's so much better. It really adds like the tiniest little bit of detail. I really like that. Then I also had another idea. I have a lot. I had a mangrove one somewhere. Oh, here it is. So for the mangrove, I didn't have like a lot to go through. Maybe I can actually place the bushes. I think that fits the dried bush a lot better. And then just a couple, I think I'm gonna place over here. The firefly bush is really similar to the colors of the swamp slash mangrove, so I think it really fits. And then I also have a jungle path over here. I would really just place a bunch of leaf litter, just because the jungle is filled with leaves. I think I will place these all over the place. And then I will also add like a bunch of bushes if I could. Oh my god, I think, hi. But yeah, I think, there we go. every block that I was clicking on was occupied. There we go. That's so nice. And the point of the pathway was to like make it feel like people use it, but adding the leaves and the bushes really make it look so much better. Do you agree? So I had the idea of making like a little flower cart, including this cactus flower. So just because you can place it on like any block. So I'm gonna make a little top slab right here, a 3x2 just like this, some trap doors just to make just pretender wheels. I'm gonna grab the moss and place it just like this, maybe? Maybe like that. There we go. This one, I know you can place like a trap door and then a sign like right against it like this. Kind of looks like it's floating, but there we go. And then I can just place a bunch of little flowers as well. So the cactus flower, just like this. Maybe I can place that one over here. Maybe I'll get rid of this block right here and then place a tree, maybe. And then just randomly some flowers as well. Like a little flower pot. Oh, that looks cute. Oh wait, I forgot. The little like pulley thing. So, okay, so there we go. That's a little cute flower cart if you want to build this. And then I also had the idea to make a cliff, but make it like really lush and overgrown and stuff. So I'm going to show you how I would do that. So I like to start off with any hill. Honestly, it doesn't have to be like anything special. This is just like a regular plains biome. I'm going to go over here. And then wherever you want your ledge to be, I'm going to choose just here. And I'm gonna extend that like the tiniest little bit, just so we have a little bit of an overhang from the rest of the hill over here. So I like to extend this pretty randomly, to be honest. I just kind of like to blend it a little bit more with the terrain that we actually have. So since this just kind of like cut off, I'm gonna extend it a little bit more and blend that out a little bit, and then just fill in any single gap that I see. So all of this can just go and be covered up. And now that I'm happy with the overall shape of this, I'm gonna go ahead underneath and place a bunch of stone just underneath the grass that we just placed, like on the edge. So I'm just gonna fill all of this in until I reach the bottom, so over here all the way down. And whenever I want to make a cliff, this is basically what I do every single time. It doesn't really matter like the size or anything. I just do that same technique. So there we go. That's like the really rough shape of it. Now, wherever I see dirt underneath the stone, I'm gonna get rid of it and just replace it with stone as well. So all of this can go. Not these dirt blocks, because that's not like directly underneath the stone. But all of these can actually go in. There we go. That looks so much better. Now I'm gonna go in with some grass blocks, moss, and coarse dirt, and just gonna place those like along the edges just to blend it out like a little bit. I like to get rid of the top, like the little tiniest bit, just so I can blend it out even more. Honestly, I don't have like a real technique for this one. I just place it like along the edges until I find something that I like. So over here, maybe that can go a little bit more down. And there we go. I think that's fine. And then I'm gonna go in with some of my moss blocks and just replace like a couple of them, not all of it, just to add like a little bit more variation to the dirt. So all of this can also be changed like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace some of the dirt with the coarse dirt, and that adds a lot more variation. I think I always like to do this. I feel like it makes the edges look a little bit more rough. There we go. I'm pretty happy with that. And with the stone, I also like to go in with some andesite and some mossy cobblestone, and I do the same thing. I just go in randomly and replace some of the blocks. I like to do that all over the place. So all of this, and then with the mossy cobblestone as well. I think I got a comment a while ago saying that whenever they try to do it randomly, it ends up looking like really neat. It does take practice to do it randomly. I kind of just stop thinking about where I'm placing it and just go ahead, and then I just wobble around my mouse, and then with that I'm usually happy with it. And then this little area looks a little bit too uniform, so I like to get rid of a little bit, just like that. Maybe all the way over here, and that's gonna add a little bit more shape. So you're gonna get rid of any like corner and then fill it in where the wall is supposed to be. There we go. And then fill this all in over here, the back. And maybe I can get rid of that one as well. And there we go. That adds a lot more dimension instead of just like a solid uniform wall. So there we go. And then I'm gonna go ahead and mix that up as well, the same way that I did previously. And then for some added detail, I like to go in with some stone stairs, some slabs, and just add that little bit of variation to the little corners over here. So I like to go in, place some stairs like this, maybe some stairs underneath over here, maybe a couple slabs. I also like to place it like right underneath the dirt so it blends in a little bit more. So maybe here I can place a stair and a slab just like that, and there we go. That's like a really basic cliff, and I do actually decorate. So what I like to do is add some rock, and I use stone stairs and stone slabs, and then also stone buttons. And I like to place like the little tiniest bit of like rocks, so I like to blend that up using some of the slabs and stairs. And then on the edges I like to place some stone buttons just to add like little rocks on the floor. I'm also gonna place one over here, so those are my rocks right there. For natural areas like these, I also like to place like fallen trees, and if only they added the stupid mushrooms. Oh, I'm so mad. But anyways, I'm gonna place some logs just like that. Really doesn't really matter. Then place some campfires and some trapdoors along the edges just to blend that out like a little bit like this, and then turn the campfires off, of course. And there we go. We have some fallen logs just right there. I also like to go in with azalea leaves. These are my favorites just because we have the flowering azalea ones, and that adds a little bit more variation to it. So I like to place those just like along the edges, like bushes, and almost like vines as well. So I like to place those going down and like growing a little bit like this. And once I'm happy with the shape, I like to go in and replace some of them like this. And I'm also gonna place some over here and some over here along the side, growing all the way up over here. And now for the star of the show, I'm gonna add a bunch of the new blocks. So I'm gonna place the leaf litter just around where I place the leaves, just so it looks like it's kind of making a mess around where the leaves are. So I'm just gonna do that with all of these until I'm satisfied. And there we go, you can definitely tell where I place them. So all around the leaves that I placed before. Now I'm definitely gonna go around and place some of the bushes and the normal grass. I'm mainly gonna place these around the azalea leaves that I placed. I like to place them like in the corners just a little bit, and then some of the other ones as well, just to blend it out like a little bit. Then since I place moss, I also like to place moss carpets. I like to go in basically everywhere just because it blends in with the regular grass as well. And then obviously for nighttime, you can use a torch, but I like using like the frog lights. I like to place some frog lights underneath the moss carpets like this. And of course I'm gonna add some of the Firefly bushes, but I'm gonna hide these underneath the moss carpet just like this. And then lastly, for a little bit pop of color, I'm just gonna place a couple pink petals and wildflowers around. Okay, so I just finished doing that. I love how this turned out, but let me see it at nighttime. I'm really excited. So imagine if you had like a cliff and then just a random pathway. So there you go. I made this like random pathway just because I feel like you have to like take in the ambience of it. Just having like a little pathway going around the cliff. And then because I get a lot of people complaining that I use shaders a lot, this is how it looks like without shaders. And either way, they're gonna be adding like the vibrant visuals, the new shaders that they're gonna add for the game. When they add it to Java, I'm definitely gonna switch to those. But it's definitely like the type of shaders that I like. That's why I like my shaders a lot. I really like the fluffy square clouds like these, and then I also like the water to basically look like an enhanced version of the vanilla water. You can kind of tell over here. I really hope they add it to Java soon. So one final idea that I have is this tree stump. I was going to build one, but then I remembered that I actually have one. So this is just a tree stump that I made with a nether portal in the middle of it, but I'm gonna be adding to it just because it looks so lonely. Like I built this a very long time ago when I first started posting on like YouTube and stuff, so I feel like it's like in a lot of the personality that I now add to my builds. So I have a bunch of the things I'm gonna add to it. So this is just like a basic stump, honestly. It's made out of spruce wood, and to blend it out a little bit, like near the roots, I added some fences, dark oak slabs, and trapdoors as well. So first things first, I'm gonna be adding podzol just around the edges like this, just because it kind of blends in with the root. Then I don't think I did it when I first built this, but what I do now is grab any light source block. I'm gonna be using the yellow frog light, and I like to place it underneath the trapdoor just to add a lot more, oh my god, just to add lighting. There we go. Because I placed the lanterns, but it didn't give enough lighting, so I'm gonna place these just underneath any trapdoor that I want. So over here. Then I'm gonna place some mushrooms where I place a podzol, not in every single one of them, just like randomly dotted throughout. I was basically imagining this like a enchanted forest type thing, and then basically trying to make it look like a little bit more magical. So I'm gonna add a bunch of end rods as well with a mushroom block on top like that. I'm gonna add maybe like 3 or 4. I don't want to overdo it either. Then I'm also gonna grab some dark oak leaves, and I'm gonna place those just randomly. I'm gonna place those around the stump as well, just kind of like trickling down as if they kind of grew there. There we go. That makes it look a lot more lively. Then I'm also gonna replace some of the grass blocks with moss. I'm just gonna texture the dirt basically. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that all over the place. And then I'm also gonna go ahead with some moss carpet and the firefly bush. I'm gonna place those around over here. I place one right there. Where's the moss carpet? There we go. And maybe one over here. And then I'm gonna also place these around just randomly. Then I'm also gonna go ahead with some bushes, some dry bushes, dead bushes, and stone buttons. I'm just gonna add those randomly for a little bit more clutter. Oh, I almost forgot the leaf litter. I'm gonna add these just around the places where I place the bushes. So over here maybe. I'm gonna place some on top of the tree as well, just so it looks like they've falling down. Grab some glowberries. I'm gonna place those just a little bit underneath some of the logs, and then clip that just so it doesn't grow. I'm gonna go ahead and build this little block right here, just like that, and another glowberry. There we go. And finally, I'm gonna place some of the wildflowers and the petals just dotted around everywhere. And I think with that, we're done. Just imagine this in like a dark forest. I'll throw in a little bit of before and after. I think it looks so much better. You can't tell me it doesn't. Oh, I almost forgot. I was gonna show you how it looks like during nighttime. It looks so pretty. Again, imagine this in a dark forest. That would look so good. Anyways, that's all that I have for you today. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I know this one was just me yapping about the new things in the update. So yeah, hopefully you learned something like I did. And hopefully I gave you some new ideas on how to use the new blocks in your build. But anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this and I'll see you next video.